Happy hello to you friends, I hope you're doing well. If you're new here, my name is Adi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today, as promised, we are working on the broader culture of Bellmire, one of the towns in my work in progress story. So Bellmire is a military / academy town. So it's like general vibe is very strict and solid, and in the story it's also quite eerie and spooky as well. You will find that out eventually. But yeah, so I filmed this over 2 days. The first day I was really stuck. Nothing was clicking, nothing was coming to my brain, so I took a break. And then the next day I started it with trying to figure out how they would knot this specific bread that I wanted them to have. And I actually filmed that, so that will be playing in a second. But then after that, I actually had ideas on how I would fill a spread with items and concepts from Bellmire's culture. So that's what we're doing today. Yeah. So I also wanted to, as you can see here, I was trying to come up with some sort of symbol to put on like a flag, and I ended up going with the owl. I actually drew the final one. There it is, the bottom one. And ignore the bear. That doesn't count. But yeah, I draw a little bit. I'm considering this spread as kind of like a planning spread, and then we move on to the next one. But for now, let's watch me knot some tissue paper. Okay, I'm trying to figure out, I want it to be like a knotted bread for Bellmire, and I'm trying to figure out how they would knot it. I have an idea. I kind of want to look like a cross or like a plus sign like that, and then there'd be like a little divot in the middle where they would put like nuts and fruits. So I think I'm just like pretend this is bread, okay? So if it starts like on the bottom. Wait. Or something else what they could do. Maybe it's like 2 strips of bread. Hold on, let me get my more tissue. It's literally just like this leftover tissue from painting the other day. Don't cut the current one. Hold on. Okay, so if they have 2 strips of bread, let me just roll this up. If they have 2 strips of bread, they would maybe like put it in a cross. Then we would have it roll around like that. Roll around like that. Wait, yeah. We're gonna have those 2, and then we roll this around like that. And roll this around like that. Then we have those. Just ignore the beneath. Then we have that's actually a star. That's 5 points. Do we want that? This is getting a bit ridiculous. Okay. I kind of want it to like be like meeting in the middle though. But that's quite wide, isn't it? That's quite big. Like loose. It's loose, that's the word. It's a bit loose when I kind of want it to be like tight. And then we have that. I'm just tucking it in so it looks more like a cross. Okay, that's very messy. But do you see the vision? Do you see? Oh, I can't believe I'm trying to figure this out with tissue paper. Okay, so it would look like that. Just like use your imagination, okay? Like that. It would be all tucked in underneath. So the bottom would look messy and it would look all tucked in underneath. But then the outside, the top would look like this cross, and then they would like stick a little hole in the middle and then put like fruits and nuts. Does it make sense?
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, here's my bread mock-up. Ta-da! There we go. Anyway, back to the video.
And there you have it. I did the mock-up, and now I actually have, like, at this point in the video, I have an actual idea of how they would knot the bread. You see the one on the left in the top corner, well, kind of the middle. That was kind of just like what I imagined. I didn't actually know the layers of the strands of dough, how would they appear on the final bread. So that's what the mock-up was for. And honestly, if for like any world building thing, if you're ever not sure, just literally come up with a mock-up. Just make it out of anything. It doesn't matter. It could be clay, it could be cardboard, whatever. If you're not sure about how it would work, honestly, the best thing that would help is to make a mock-up of it to see how it would work IRL. And obviously here I used just some scrap tissue paper because it's what I had at hand. And yeah, it's really helpful actually. But yeah, so this is the next day in the video, and I am kind of just still doing sort of planning. And in a second, you'll see that I turn over the page and start mapping out like an actual like decorative spread, where we see a bunch of different parts of the culture. So yeah, I was doing a little couple of notes, and then I turned the page. Do I turn the page? Yes, I turned the page. So when I was coming up with ideas on how I would, what's the word? How I would portray the culture in just one spread, because obviously a culture of anywhere is a really deep, it's a really deep thing, and there's so much information, there's stories, there's legends, there's behaviors, there's just so much. Actually, editing Artie, can you put that like cultural iceberg graphic on screen? Yeah, do that, thank you. As you can see, like someone made this graphic and I think it's really good. There's a bunch of other things that would also be there as well, but obviously they just didn't have space because it's just a graphic. But there are so many things to consider when making a culture, so it's a bit tricky to kind of fit all of it onto a single spread in a sketchbook. So I just did a couple of things, and if you've been keeping up with my videos, you know that I've already done fashion and I've already done architecture. Definitely go watch those two videos if you're interested. I'll link them up in the corner, like right up there. Yep. So for this spread, I was focusing on food, kind of the significant cultural items. So for Bellmire, it's the bell. I haven't come up with the specific story of the bell, but there is definitely one to consider. You can see I'm drawing it now. I'm thinking it's something along the lines of this bell has been part of the town for a very long time, and they still use it to this day to kind of, I don't think they would use like typical hours of the day like how we do in real life. Like it's not like two tolls of the bell when it's 2 p.m, you know. I think it would be more like excuse me, a specific number of tolls at like lunchtime, or because it's an academy town, right? So the schools are running frequently. So I think that the bell would like toll when it's lunchtime, toll when it's class time, or like there'll be a different kind of toll for the military school. So I think that would be really fun, and I'm excited to kind of come up with their system on how they use it. And I also drew the bell tower as well. And then the next thing that's also on this spread, I just tried to say page and spread in one word. Spread? Anyway, so also on this spread we have one of the guards standing to attention, and I included this because I wanted to come up with a specific sort of pose that they would do as a sort of salute. So obviously in real life, the hand to the forehead with like a flat hand to the forehead is a typical salute, and there's many other different types of salutes throughout history. There's a bunch of fantasy salutes, so like the one for example like Wakanda Forever, the two arms across the chest. So I wanted to kind of come up with one that kind of shows loyalty and trust to the superiors. So I've got kind of like an arm going across. I don't know if this has been done, all right? I haven't like cross-checked this. I haven't looked on the internet to see if this already exists or not, but I kind of like how it looks, so I might just use it anyway. But so we've got one arm across the chest that kind of like symbolizes like I'm giving you my strength and or my shield or something like that. And then one arm is behind the back to show like kind of the loyalty, like I trust you, I will fight even if I only have one arm kind of thing. I don't know. But like that's kind of like the idea of that position. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it actually, and I feel like especially in Bellmire, even civilians would kind of do that position, like when like guards are passing, or like I don't know, like a general or even a royalty. I feel like that's just kind of like a thing, especially in Bellmire, because it's so influenced by the military. It would be a pretty common pose to do, even just in everyday life. But yeah, and as you can see, I just went back onto the planning spread to come up with a design to put on the bell, because like it's a really old bell and it's definitely been decorated. Like I've already decided, if you go back and look at my architecture video, you can see that the architecture is quite ornate, even though it's kind of like a middle-class town. So the bell would 100% be decorated. So I went back and came up with a simple design to put on that. And then I went in with my watercolors, because I actually haven't done much color in this sketchbook yet. So I felt like it really needed it. And I might go back and put watercolor on the architecture spread as well. I might do that. I don't know. But yeah, so obviously the bell's kind of like a brass. I don't think it's actual gold. I think that would be too expensive for the context of the town. But yeah, a typical brass bell, and it's quite a big bell as well. Like it's one of the like ones like you would see in like old churches or things like that. But yeah, and also, so in the fashion video, I decided that green was kind of the royal color. So for the flag, I made the base of it green, and then we have kind of like yellow that's supposed to symbolize gold, for the triangles on the top and part of the owl as well. And oh my god, I could not for the life of me pick a color to make the rest of the owl. I tried black, I tried grey, I tried a light brown, but a light brown with the yellow just reminded me of the owl from the Owl House, and I didn't want that. I love the Owl House, don't get me wrong, but it's already been done and people will associate those colors with that owl. So I didn't use that one either. I did end up on kind of like a dark burgundy purple, and I still don't know if I like it or not. Because once I finish with the watercolor, I go in with my acrylic like paint markers. I quite like the color I used for the tower roofing, which is kind of like a purple slash, yeah, kind of like purple lilac blue. I quite like that. But I feel like Bellmire would also have a bunch of other colors for roofing as well. But for the bell tower, I definitely like the purple. And then the final thing on the spread is just a pot and a bowl of stew. So the thing about Bellmire, they don't have many farms surrounding the village, the town. So all of their food, well, most of their food at least. Oh, hello? I don't know if you heard that, but there was just a thump outside. But yeah, Bellmire, it's all of its food, most of its food would be imported and from other villages and would need to survive travel. So for livestock, they would receive the animals alive, I think, and they would store the animals. So there might be a few like farms around that keep animals, but in terms of like actual like ingredients and foods, it would need to be stuff that would survive travel. So it would need to be kind of fruits, nuts, grains, stuff like that, and yeasts. Most vegetables would be okay. So I felt like a stew, like a lamb. I called it lamb and root stew. So I feel like they would use like carrots or what's parsnips and other root vegetables in the stew, and then they would use like lamb, leftover lamb, stuff like that. And yeah, as you can see, I kind of just went in with my acrylic paint pens. These are the Artex pens, the 60 set. I think actually since I got these, I realized that there's different kinds of set. I'm pretty sure this is the anime set. I'll double check and I will leave a link in the description if you want to take a look at these. I got mine from Amazon Australia. I don't know their availability in other countries, so sorry about that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this spread turned out. I am still unsure about, you can see me coloring in the owl again. I'm unsure about the purple. Leave your ideas, leave your opinions, that's the word. Leave your opinions in the description, in the comments below. What color do you think this owl should be? I might go in digitally and do a bunch of versions. And yeah, we'll see. But yeah. And we are reaching the end of the video now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, so this has kind of just been like a chill whatever video. I had no script, no plan on what I was going to talk about with this. And as you can see, it's quite early right now, so my voice is still a bit bedridden. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. And next video, we are painting again in person, so I hope you enjoy that. And that is pretty much everything for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you all next time. Bye!